What is going on, guys? It's Eric Smith here, and in today's video I want to address some questions I've been getting from a lot of you guys, and that's basically how I actually go about picking interest to target in my Facebook ad. There are a lot of videos out there to discuss how to set up your ad campaigns, your ad sets, whether you should choose a photo ad or a video ad. I'm not going to be talking about that at all. I'm going to be talking about how you actually choose the individual interests you want to target. That way you get the perfect buyer every time, and I'm going to be talking about some of the strategies I actually use and what I think about when I am setting up an ad and when I am choosing my interests. Um, so let's jump right into this. So these are your potential buyers right here. I'm going to draw them out for you to make this a little more visual and fun. So they got smiley faces because they're interested in our product and they're super happy. But when you're creating your ad, you want to think about who you're going to show it to, right? What qualities do these people have, or what qualities do you want these people to have when you're showing the ad to them? So let's say we are selling dog products, right? There are two qualities you want to think about when you're selling a dog product to a certain type of people. You want to make sure they're passionate about what you're selling, right? So that's one quality. You want to make sure they're passionate about. Okay, that's quality number one. It's very important. And quality number two is you want to make sure they are a type of person who likes buying online, right? They need to have some kind of buyer trait that you can actually, target in an interest. That way you're saying, hey, Facebook, we want to show this product to people who are potential buyers, right? So that's quality number two. We want to make sure they are buyers. And it's not enough just to have either one or the other of these. We need to make sure they are included in both of these qualities, right? This guy right here, maybe he's only passionate about dogs. He likes dogs a lot, but he doesn't own a dog. He's not going to buy a dog product. He just likes looking at random memes online. It doesn't really make sense to sell a dog product to him. This guy right here, maybe, he is a buyer, but he doesn't really like dogs. He'll buy things online, but if he's not actually passionate about the thing that you're selling, there's no way he's going to stop in the middle of his Facebook feed to click on your website or go to some unknown brand he's never heard of before and buy something, right? And the middle guy right here, he is passionate and he's a buyer. He has a dog. He goes to PetSmart. He buys dog food. He buys dog products. These are all the qualities you want to see when you're selling your product. And I'm using an example as dogs here, but this works for literally any type of product you want. They need to have passion and they need to be a buyer. So you need to start thinking then, how can I choose interests that align with each one of these buckets, right? So if you're passionate, you may like different fan pages about dogs. So you want to find interests about fan pages. You maybe want to find that they like certain influencers. They wouldn't like an influencer unless they're passionate about it. Things like that in that nature. The buyer profile is doing more things like magazines. Maybe they buy a monthly subscription to a magazine. Oops, that's weird. In the category of the thing you're selling. Maybe they are interested in a certain brand that sells an item that's related to dogs, so like Petco or PetSmart, things that sell dog food, things in that nature, right? So we want to find a bunch of interests that align in each one of these. So I'm going to show you what I do. A lot of people just go in here, type in their interest, and just look at the suggestions, or they'll Google it. I don't do that. I use this tool here. You definitely don't need to use this. It's called Ad Intelligence. I'm just going to show this in the video because that's what I use. Like I said, not an obligation at all to use this tool. So let's start broad. Let's just type in dog to get started. And we're going to find, we're going to find a bunch of interests that kind of fall into this category, and then kind of hone in on them and evaluate whether we want to add them, show them in our ad. And I'm going to show you my thought process here. So I'm going to sort by audience size here. And I'm just going to go down. I think dog is just a little too broad. So we're going to go down and just find some things. Let's go down to an audience size of maybe less than 2 million. Okay, so things like Dog Lovers Club. I mean, that's obviously, if you're liking that page, then you are probably passionate about dogs, right? So we're going to just click on that. Cesar Millan, so he's a dog trainer. So if you're watching that, then you're probably passionate about dogs. I love my dog. I love dogs. Obviously, all these things are, passion and interests, right? So let's look through and see if we can find some things that are related to buyers. Maybe obedience training. I'm gonna skip that though. Just keep on looking. Go to the next page. Scroll up. Dog's purpose. I don't know what that is. Let me see. I think that's like a movie or something, right? It loads here. It's a book. That might be more aligned with passion interests, but let's keep on going here. Okay, so magazine, Dogs Today magazine. I didn't know that existed, so we're gonna bookmark that, and it's just gonna show up here. That way, I can keep track of everything. A dog foundation is probably a passion. List of dog sports. So if you're interested in dog sports, you're probably passionate about dogs. Let's see here. Keep on going through. Things like dog breeds. You can argue that's a passion interest as well. Dog rescue definitely is a passion interest. More magazines, that's a buyer profile interest. There's a lot here I can keep on adding, but I'm not going to, like I said, I would go through and search some of these and just make sure they're relevant, but for the sake of the video, I'm just kind of going quick here. What I'm looking for are things like, let's see, maybe like a dog store, dog food, scrolling through real fast. Alright, so I don't see a lot of dog food, so what I'm going to do is just type it in. Because if you're buying dog food, you're probably someone who buys things for the dog, right? Okay, so dog biscuit maybe. Purina One, I know that's a dog brand. Purina Pet Care, things like that. So we have a bunch of things here. I think that's enough. You can keep on going, and what eventually you want to do is you want to test a bunch of variations of this. But what I do is once I have this, I'm going to actually kind of go a little more in depth on these, and I'm going to start pasting in all the ones that are kind of grouped together into the search bar to find more relevant interests like that. So I'm going to paste in all my buyer-related interests here. So Purina One, Dog Biscuit, Dog Magazine, was there another one? Dogs Naturally Magazine. Alright, so go ahead and click search. And again, you can do this on your own just by going here. It's a little bit slower, but typing in the suggestions and like looking through here. But now you have a bunch of different options. These are all very strong buyer type interests. Pet food, bacon strips, Meow Mix. That one's a cat related, so ignore that. IAMS, things like that. So go through, find a bunch of buyer types, and then what you do, once you find a good set of buyer quality interests and passionate quality interests, you're going to go through here and just paste them into the targeting box. So copy here, paste it, oops, select the interest, and we're going to do that for a few of them here. Purina One. And as you do this, just keep an eye on your potential reach. You want to make sure it has a decent size, maybe somewhere between like 500,000 and like 3 million. It doesn't matter. I like to go broad. Some people like to go very narrow. It really doesn't matter too much. Just know that the broader you are, the longer it's going to take for Facebook to optimize, because you have a bigger audience to basically test and figure out who your right audience is, right? So I like to start large because I have a big budget. If you have a smaller budget, maybe start smaller, smaller audience size. Just a tip from myself. So paste a few of these in here. Okay, so that's probably good. Maybe 3 buyer interests, and then we're going to go ahead and click narrow audience, and then we're going to add our passion interests. So list of dog sports, I said was a passion interest. Cesar Millan. And see how right now it's 370,000, so we're going to keep on adding some until it gets to a good place that we're happy with. 440,000, let's keep on adding. I love my dog. Okay, so I think that's good. I don't want to make the video too long, but you kind of get the idea, and we're at a pretty good potential reach audience size right here. So you can kind of see what's happening here is when we run this ad, we're going to show it to people who we know buy things related to dog items, right? They're going to buy dog food, they're going to buy dog magazines. They're obviously willing to shell out some money for their dog or for the product you're trying to sell. They are also passionate about it. They watch dog training videos. They follow fan pages saying like I love my dogs. They're interested in dog sports. So they are a perfect audience for the product you're selling. And this is really all you need. You need just 2 sections, and it's really important that you click narrow further instead of throwing these all into one. Otherwise, it won't work right. You won't have it basically won't have the audience be included in both of them. It'll just be one or the other. So make sure you click narrow further when you do this. But right now you have the perfect audience, and you can keep on going if you want. But it's not necessary. If you basically want to get your potential reach down, you can throw in some more buyer types, some more passion types. But this is really the minimum right here, and that's really the most important part. I mean, obviously your ad needs to be professional. You need to have good ad copy. The page that it directs to, like your store page, needs to be professional. But once you have a good product and a good audience, you're basically set, and that sells itself. So that's really all there is to it. Let me go back here and make sure there's nothing else I need to add. No, I think that's really it. So that is the basics of it. I did this quick. Make sure you actually go through and spend some more time researching these. I kind of knew what these brands were already. If you're not, I would just go through and just kind of Google them. Like Meow Mix is obviously a cat thing, but if you weren't sure, definitely Google the name of the interest and just see what it's about. Check out to see what people are saying about it. You want to make sure it's got good reviews, and that people who are interested in that particular interest, are high quality. So just do your homework. But if you spend a lot of time doing that and spend a lot of time finding a good product, that's the bulk of the work. So anyways, I'm sure there's a lot of information. I'm going to stop it right there. And like I said, I don't want to be too promotional here. I own this tool as well. You do not need to use it. I use it myself, so it's easier for the sake of this video because I'm more familiar with it. As an alternative, if you were just to go in here and click on suggestions, you're going to see a bunch of related interests that are specific, to what you typed in here. If you want to start broad, just exit out of here. Maybe just say something like dogs. Sorry, a little bit of cold here. Click interest, click suggestions, and just click on some ones that seem interesting to you. It's going to be fairly limited. You only have like 25 interests here, but it's good enough to get you a start. So try it out. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time.